Hey, Amnesia here. I wanted to follow up the last video on how to trade down in goods, on how to trade up in goods. So basically trading up in eras. So first thing to remember from the last video where we talked about that fair trade really being more just a misnomer. And it's really, think of it more as your max rate when you're trading down in eras or your minimum rate when you're trading up. So think of this, if you're trading biogeochems, 100, it's 50 plastics. That's what is considered, the system considers a fair trade. There's also 50 bioplastics could equal, 50 herbal snacks. So that's a, 1 age or, 5 age difference. It's still considered fair by the computer. And really what I think, you got to think of that rate as the min or the max rate. And so when you're trading down, that fair trade rate is your max rate when it's 1 age, and it's your min rate, basically your worst rate when you're trading up 1 age. So with that being said, let's look at the market and try to think through like, well, how do I want to, if I'm trying to have goods in 1 age, want to trade up and get something, what's a good offer? So usually what you're trying to do is find things that are, I'm going to scroll way down. You're trying to look for something that is maybe up an age and not at that 0.5 ratio. So in this case, let's just go and look at, say, things that cost, what can we do with papercrete? Or what can we do with, hold on a second, what can we do with nanoparticles, right? And so with nanoparticles, we can trade, looking back in the market, we can trade, nanoparticles here for, here's 400 for 200 oceanic. That's up 2 ages. That's a pretty good deal. It all says 0.5. You've got lots of things down here. Now here's also the exact same rate, 0.5 nanowires for 100 future, right? So that's a 1 age difference, right? So they all show up as being that same rate, but are wildly different in terms of the value. So when I'm looking for things to trade up, it's a little harder to sort when you're looking for things to trade up, but you want to kind of find things where you're maybe trading up 2 eras. So something like, gas is often something. So gas here, 1,000 gas, you get 500 algae. That's a pretty good trade. I'm trying to see if there's something where there's something that has, a lot of times you see like 0.7. Let's go find a 0.7 of something. And you can see some of the 0.7s will be sort of almost like sort of 1.5 to 1 between ages, right? So here's one, like steel to robotics. So you can get 750 steel, move it up an age for 500 robotics. That's often a pretty decent rate to trade between 1 ages, as opposed to that 0.5. You don't, like, the point being, you often don't have to, if you have 750, you don't have to pay 1,000 steel to get 500 robots. There's probably somebody who's willing to, give you 500 robots for 750 steel. And so look for things like that if you want to move up in age, and look for, things where people are really desperate to get things. So sometimes you'll see, things that are, vastly different in ages. I've traded Iron Age goods for Venus goods before, just because somebody really needs those types of things. So when you're trading up in age, again, try to avoid that quote unquote fair trade, moving up just 1 age, because that's literally the worst possible trade you can make. So only do those when you need it. Otherwise, spend a little time looking through the market, and oftentimes you can almost always, if you have a good friends list or in a pretty active neighborhood, find something up 2 ages for the goods that you have. And then, if you use some of the tools we talked about last time of trading down, kind of slowly looking for things to trade down, you might be able to get that back down to more goods than you started with if you're willing to take the time to make 2 trades. Anyway, we'll talk more about some of those sort of other tips on how to sort of manufacture goods and look for goods for your guild in later videos. Talk to you later.